Students and friends, I'm here with a special guest, former student of mine, but doing really cool stuff in this world. And I can't wait for you to learn more about him and his job and his pathway to get there. So, Eric, without further ado, so I don't steal all the thunder, would you be willing to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what your current job is and what that looks like, my friend?
Hey guys, I'm Eric Cocanig, former Sandberg alum. So yeah, just a little bit about me. I'm an electrical engineer here with Milwaukee Tool in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Went to Purdue University in Indiana, studied electrical engineering there. So just to talk a little bit about myself, went to Purdue University, graduated in 2020, quite the year to graduate.
Wow.
But before that, yeah, coming out of Sandberg, I went to Moraine Valley Community College for 2 years. So did some gen eds there, and then transferred to Purdue University to finish up my degree there. So from Moraine Valley, I went into electrical engineering there. Made a lot of great friends. Joined lots of organizations on campus. Purdue's my home. Love it.
Yeah.
And then yeah, COVID hit in about 2020, and things were getting a little rough. I went right on spring break, and right when spring break hit, we were completely online from then. So still wasn't sure what I was going to do after school at that point, because I had a couple job leads lined up, but we weren't sure what was going to happen as far as COVID and how things would play out after that. But things worked out great. My company was willing to work with me as far as COVID protocols and taking the proper precautions, and we made it work. So I've been here with Milwaukee Tool for just over 1 year now as an electrical engineer.
Well, that's awesome. And I'm glad that you were able to get in the work field during such a tricky time. Let's just call it tricky, unique, whatever you want to call it. But, with this being said, you have a background in electrical engineering. You're with a company that's very well known and important to the world in industry and building and that. Could you walk us through, what does a typical day look like for you? And are you working that route of electrical engineering, or are you using that, or is it something else? We would just kind of like to hear, we know what your degree and background is in, but how do you use that, and what does a regular day look like for Eric?
Sure. So Milwaukee Electric Tool, they've been around for a long time. They specialize in power tools, specifically in trades, and now are getting more into commercial. So as an engineer for them, some of my daily stuff is I work specifically with batteries and chargers. So our 12 and 18 volt batteries that you see on all of our drills and sawzalls and all kinds of equipment like that. I work hand in hand with those. So I do use my degree and knowledge from degree a lot, I would say. Working on those requires a bit of that kind of electrical knowledge. Yes. So typical stuff for me at work would be, I work with those battery packs, testing with new prototypes. I do lots of discharging of packs, data analysis, summarizing data, some kind of lower entry stuff, as I'm only with the company for a year. But what I do like to tell people is the fun part of my job, I get to blow up packs, actually.
Whoa. Okay.
So one of the tests we do, it's like a short circuit test, and we really test the limits of some of our packs here in Brookfield, and some of our more high tech kind of equipment testing. And some of that is, we really push the limits of the packs, and they blow up, and I get to see that in real time in like a controlled environment. So really exciting stuff. Might sound a little boring to some, but honestly, that it's great to me, and I think it's a lot of fun. I get to actually use my degree, which in engineering is sometimes hard to come by in that first year in the workforce, but I enjoy it a lot.
So I'm trying to think of this setting. So when you're doing this type of stuff, are you in a lab, in an office? Are you going from the office to the lab? Just curious how that works.
Yep. So we have a big office here. It's about like a 4-story building. The primary, work is in a lab. So we have multiple lab spaces. These are very like closed environment kind of off-site that we go to, because some of these bigger packs for testing can be quite dangerous, honestly. And we have all types of precautions as far as you know, extinguishing packs from fire and explosions even. So it's cool stuff. It really is. And then I would say the other half of my job is working here in the office and kind of capturing all that data I've acquired and summarizing it for the right people. But we have a number of different buildings here. We're actually expanding too in the downtown Milwaukee area. Some of our marketing department's going to move down there, but primary engineering is here in the suburbs of Milwaukee. So.
Oh, that's very interesting. Now, when you're doing these tests, are you with a specific group that focuses on testing the limits of the battery? Is there another group working on like efficiency, making batteries last longer? So are things, when you work in this industry, at least with this company, is it pretty, what's the word, like specific? You have a very specific set job and there's another team working on another specific set job?
Yes, definitely. So, my job is specifically in batteries and chargers. There's a number of different departments here. You got everything from mechanical engineering to industrial engineering. We have departments that are specific to power tools or like outdoor power equipment. We have a whole department whose sole job is just to think of literal new tools to use, like a new prototype department.
Cool.
So we hire all kinds of different, skill sets, and there's lots of different departments that, will get you in something that, you're comfortable in.
Yeah. When you're working, do you find yourself working solo in the lab, or is this a team thing where you're working together to get data, push that information to the right people?
Yep, I work with about 10 different guys. Lots of them are technicians. So some of it is more of your, just bare bones testing a pack kind of thing. That's what we call it, a battery pack. And then you have like engineers that I also work with that I am in talks with some of the data, compiling all the data, presenting it to some of our leadership, and then that goes on to kind of like a marketing. So all the teams kind of work well in hand here. I talk to a number of different people, not just the ones on my team, I would say. Lots of people in all different areas of the company, honestly. So.
Understood. Well, that's super cool to think about. In that, is the main goal of your research then, is it one, like to find is safe, or is it to test the limits, or is it to make the most powerful battery that's safe and the least expensive? Like, is there an overall arching goal that you're told, or is it just like, hey, we need you to figure out the limits of this and then we'll take it from there?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm part of a team that specializes in what's called alternative cells. So the packs that you see in Home Depot or any store, that you can find our products, we're specifically looking to expand some of our manufacturing. Most of the manufacturing is with Samsung and LG brands, maybe you're familiar with. They make our cells for our battery packs, the actual cells that go inside the packs. So we're looking to kind of expand, find new manufacturers. So part of my job is testing those new manufacturers, and we're looking to really just grow our product more. So.
Oh, awesome. Well, Eric, thank you for sharing kind of the day in the life. And
for sure,
I'm hearing a lot with communication and groups and using your degree in that. If I could bug you for just a few more seconds or minutes even, when looking back at your journey with school and where you are now, are there any skills, tips, ideas, suggestions for our students that might benefit them, prepare them, or help them in any way?
Sure. So like I said before, I went to a community college, Moraine Valley, very close by to Sandburg. So, I think going out of high school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I was kind of interested in maybe a computer science or programming. And then, lo and behold, I take a couple classes and I figure out I'm just terrible at it. It's not for me, So,
yeah.
Going to Moraine was, sometimes it was tough, seeing some of your friends go away to those 4-year programs. But all in all, I think, Moraine was great for me in that it helped me kind of figure out what I wanted to do before I got there. I would say that was a great way to kind of mold, my pathway in my career. And honestly, it kind of taught me how to, deal with a little bit of adversity. I would say, you can't be afraid of adversity. And really for me, that's kind of what Moraine helped me do. And there's honestly, no downside in going to community college, for those gen eds. I think you can have a great, time as a transfer student at at any university, like I did with Purdue. I still had a great 3 years, 2 years, whatever it's going to be after you do that. And I think that, that would be my biggest advice, dealing with adversity, don't be afraid of it, kind of thing.
Awesome. No, thank you. That is phenomenal advice. I appreciate you bringing that up. And I love that there are different pathways to take to get to your end result. And you're right. A lot of our students leaving school aren't quite sure exactly what it is, what problems they want to solve for that. So I think the community college is a wonderful place to do that. And also, we all know that college is not inexpensive. So if you can find a way to do that, that is more valuable for your time and wallet, I think that's a great plug. So thank you for bringing that up. Now, as far as electrical engineering, does that tend to be a program that's 4 years? Does that require a master's? Could we just talk about that really quick?
Sure. Yeah. So electrical engineering is primarily a 4-year program, I would say. You definitely don't, need to get a master's, especially at my job. I would say primarily of the engineers here don't have a master's. Not to say that, that's a bad thing to do, but, what you learn in the undergrad is very, goes over everything. I mean, I've learned so much, everything from, power, electronics, programming. It really encompasses kind of all there needs to know, in the program. So yeah, I would say, I don't think I didn't really need to go for a master's. I'm thinking about it as far as like maybe a managerial kind of thing, maybe go for like an MBA type thing. But definitely primarily of at least our engineers kind of just have that undergrad.
Awesome. And one last question then, and I will leave you alone, Eric, but thank you for your time. As far as getting a job, are there any suggestions? Is it a networking thing? Is it doing internships? Is it all the above? Is it a luck of the draw? Have you seen success between you or any acquaintances too that might help students find their job once they do figure out what they want to do?
Sure. Yeah, it's a great question because now I'm actually helping recruiting with my company down at Purdue, and so I really came full circle with that, and that that's an awesome thing. But for me, it was really putting myself out there, doing whatever I had to do that. And at Purdue, we had a number of career fairs there with upwards of over 300 companies. And these were all, some of them Fortune 500 companies, very well known in the workforce. It was, a 2-day event, maybe 6 hours a day in the blazing hot sun, and everybody's dressed nice in their suits. And, you just kind of want to be done with it. And for me, I was going to that every single year in college, just trying to get that one interview. And it's tough because, sometimes you go a whole day and you come up, blank. But really kind of, for me, it was putting myself out there. I think I might have applied to over 100 companies, filling out over 100 applications. Having that one-to-one with a recruiter, really kind of bringing out, how involved you are on campus and, what you really are passionate about. I think that a good recruiter will see that. And for me, that's kind of what happened. I had an interview with one of the recruiters here at Milwaukee Tool, and him and I really had that one-on-one connection. And we were just talking about our passions and what kind of drives us. And I think that's what really helped me. And going at an interview or whatever you are applying for, at 100%, I think you can have luck with that. So,
thank you. That so many chestnuts of great advice there, Eric. I can't thank you enough for that and for your time. We want to wish you nothing but luck in your career and, of course, health and safety during these unique times. That's awesome that you're a Purdue alum now. And don't forget, you're always an Eagle, too. We love you over here at Sandberg.
Always an Eagle. Hey, thanks, Phil, for your time.